Graduates of a Queensland University. Today, we're going to talk about how to apply for a skilled visa. So this will be the 491 or the 190 visa if you graduated from a university in Queensland. Now, these eligibility requirements were only released a few weeks ago, so we're yet to see some invitations this financial year, but I'm sure they'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. So first of all, for the 491 or 190 visa, you will need to submit an expression of interest, which means you will need to meet those requirements. So for example, you must have a valid skills assessment in an eligible occupation, you must be under 45 years of age, and you must score at least competent English. So let's have a look at the eligibility criteria. Now, this applies to all graduate pathways. We'll have a look at the different pathways after, but this is the coverall eligibility criteria. So first of all, you must score at least 75 points or higher for the 190 visa. For the 491 visa, you must score at least 65 points or higher. Now, do remember that these points includes the state nomination points. So for 190, you get an additional 5 points from the state, and for the 491, you get an additional 15 points for the state. So it should be relatively easy for you to score those points. You'll need to have at least competent English, but as you can see, based on the points, you might need higher English. You must have a valid skills assessment in an eligible occupation. So for the 190 visa, you'll need to look at that occupation list. And for the 491, you'll need to be living in regional Queensland with a valid skills assessment in an eligible occupation. So you'll need to go ahead and check if your occupation is eligible for the 491 visa, which most likely it will be. You must have completed 100% of your studies in Queensland and obviously lived there while you studied, and you must have graduated in the last 2 years. So now there's a few different specific criteria, so let's go through them. First of all, I think this criteria is really favorable for PhD and doctorate graduates. So the requirement is that you must have a skills assessment and you must score the things we said before, but all you need after this is you need to have a positive decision on your thesis, and a job or job offer is not required. So if you met all the criteria above and scored the minimum points, I think you have a very high chance of being invited. And it's particularly attractive because you don't need to have a job or a job offer like the other streams, which we'll get to. Now, if you're a master graduate, there's two different streams. So the first stream is master graduates in STEM or agricultural fields. So this applies for the 190 and the 491. You must be employed minimum 30 hours per week in your nominated occupation or an ANSCO skill level 1 job. So this is a little bit tricky, but for example, if you've got a skills assessment as a software engineer, but you're working as an ICT business analyst, then you would qualify because although it's not in your nominated occupation, it's still a skill level 1 job. Now, the STEM and agriculture fields are listed below, but yeah, this includes like chemical sciences, mathematical sciences, computer science, aerospace engineering, civil engineering, and then you got your agriculture, which is agriculture, horticulture, forestry studies. So that's for master graduates in STEM. Now let's look at the second option, which is master graduates not in STEM or agriculture fields. So there's some additional requirements here. For the 190 visa, you must have had a GPA of 6.0 or higher, and for the 491 visa, you must have a GPA of 5.0 or higher, and you must be employed full-time at a minimum of 30 hours per week in your nominated occupation or an ANSCO skill level 1 job. And for bachelor graduates, for the 190 visa, you must have a GPA of 6.0 or higher, and for the 491 visa, you must have a GPA of 5.0 or higher, and you must be employed minimum 30 hours per week in a nominated occupation or skill level 1 occupation. So this is a little bit more favorable than for candidates in the other standard streams, because for the other standard streams for the 190 visa, you must be working in your nominated occupation for 3 months before you apply. So this is a little bit better. So for graduates, you'll be applying for an expression of interest, and there's an extra form online for graduates to complete so that they can identify that they're graduates of a Queensland University. Again, we are waiting to see the invitation round rounds. So once I do get some invitations, I will be able to tell you what it's kind of looking like and how good the invitations are. At this point, it looks like there is a strong focus on STEM occupations. So it's something to definitely keep in mind. But as I realized, STEM is STEM. So not the M for medical. There's not an extra M. So it's just science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and then agricultural occupations as well. So there isn't medical and healthcare, which is very interesting. Anyways, I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with people who need it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.